Heads that bleed orange and black. This is Sports Phone KNBR. Sponsored by Industrial Metal Supply. On the Sports Leader. Check the live stream on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
Oh, you know it's crazy times at KNBR when they got my ass hosting this show. How's it hanging? It's Derek Papa. Yep. Derek Papa is hosting Sports Phone KNBR. I know. I can't believe it either. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Let's do this thing. I'm going to be taking you up until Dubs OT when my man John Dickinson takes over for the Warrior game once it goes final. Warriors leading the Brooklyn Nets right now, 88-81. So, if you know who I am, I'm Derek Papa. I produce the afternoon show with Adam Copeland. And, I'm hosting this show tonight. You may know me by my drop, Jacob, if you got it.
Eat shit, Derek.
Yep, that's me. Been producing the show for a while now, and my role might be expanding on the show, but we won't get to that tonight. Tonight is about Sports Phone KNBR, and we're going to have fun tonight. I'm going to have my man, Tommy Call, joining me later. Tommy Call and I go way back in the day. Works for Warriors Wire, Niners Wire, and has a sweet podcast on the Believe Network with my man, Evan Giddings. So talk to him a little later, probably at like 9 o'clock. And, we just wrapped up on KNBR, the Ravens and Chargers game. Ravens win 30-23. Second night in a row where a visiting team runs all over the home LA team. Last night it was the Eagles. Tonight it was the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't think it's any coincidence that if you run the football, you have success in this league. Right now, I think the best running teams are the Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia Eagles, and Detroit Lions. Not in any particular order, but they're successful at running the football. And that brings me to the 49ers, which we'll get into quite a bit right now. But before I do that, I want to bring in my good buddy on the ones and twos tonight. We've been working together for a long time, probably like 10 years, and I wouldn't want anybody else on the board than this guy, Jacob Violante. What's up, dude?
My brother, it is, what is up? What is up right now is us right here doing this thing.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Crazy, man.
Taking over this station.
It's come a long way, baby.
Yes.
680.
The sports leader. I'll have to nail that down. All right, let's talk about the Niner game yesterday. And I'll ask everybody out there, what'd you think was going to happen? No Bosa, no Purdy, no Trent Williams. Did you really have high expectations yesterday? I didn't. So the final, 38-10, and it was a bludgeoning. It was the worst loss probably in the Kyle Shanahan era. I mean, there's more painful losses, Super Bowl losses, obviously, but regular season, 38-10, it's the biggest gap in the Packers-49ers series, I believe. I saw that yesterday. And, yeah, I just asked you guys, did you expect a win? Did you expect a closer game? Jacob, what were you expecting yesterday?
I was expecting them to keep it close. I thought we were going to lose by maybe a touchdown, maybe 10 points or something like that.
You really thought it was going to be close?
I don't know. I had faith. I didn't have faith in Brandon Allen. Honestly, I thought Dobbs was our backup. I totally forgot. I totally forgot Allen was on our team. But I just had faith in Shanahan, and I know we were really shorthanded, but for some reason this rivalry's been close, and so I expected a decently close game.
Yeah, we have to think about the success that Kyle Shanahan's had over Matt LaFleur in recent years, especially in the playoffs and last year, where I think a lot of Niner fans would say maybe they got away with one in the playoffs, the divisional round, but yesterday was no contest. And Tim Ryan joined Adam Copeland on Friday and told him, bro, this team likes to run the holy hell out of the football, and that's exactly what they did. 42 rushes for 169. You got it? Give me some time on that one. All right. 169 yards and 3 touchdowns from Josh Jacobs, who I believe had 91 yards in the first half and finished with, 106 yards from Josh Jacobs. So I think the 49, a lot of people are going to say, Brock Purdy didn't play. I don't think it mattered if Brock Purdy even played in this game, I don't think the outcome is any different. I think the story of this game was the Niners defense had no chance to stop the run. If they were able to slam the run at all, they probably would have been competitive in this football game, but it did not happen, and they needed to establish that on the first drive. Right away, Josh Jacobs runs down the field and scores a touchdown. And on the flip side, the offense also needed to establish something right away by doing anything offensively, and right away Brandon Allen trips and gets, I forget exactly what happened, but they did not do anything offensively the first drive. So, yeah, it was a bad loss. And I know a lot of Niner fans are losing faith. They're 5-6. They think the season's over. I'll get to that in a little bit here. But as far as the game itself, a lot of sloppy play. The Pooney with 3 penalties, not great, not a great performance. I'll bring up what Jacob said. Josh Dobbs, why did he not play in the game? I can understand that. He's a little more of a game changer by using his legs a little bit more. And right away I saw Brandon Allen had a splint on his finger. It's not his. I believe it was his non-throwing hand. But I was like, why are they going with this guy? And Dieter Kurtenbach, not to be confused with Derek Kurtenbach, but Dieter Kurtenbach had a good point when he was hosting the show with Adam Copeland on Friday, where it was a little bit of crisis mode. They knew that Purdy wasn't going to play until Friday. So short game plan. And the guy that could do the easiest Purdy impression is Brandon Allen. Now, I believe you should have a contingency plan. If Purdy's not going to play, then maybe you throw out Josh Dobbs out there, and then you have to change the whole offense. And I totally get that. But on the other side, Matt LaFleur has been in that situation a couple times this season where he didn't have his quarterback, Jordan Love, and he had to go to a dominant running style with Malik Willis. And my man Jacob Violante is laughing at me right now because we argue. I forget what the debate was a couple weeks ago, but I said, there's going to be a time where Jordan Love hands off to Malik Willis in a formation. He's like, no, that's dumb, dude. They ain't doing that. I'm still waiting for that. I think that's actually a good, smart formation, but Jacob disagrees with me on that one. Yes, thank you. But it's a lot of sloppy play yesterday. And I don't know if Josh Dobbs would have helped. I mean, he probably would have been able to pick up, third downs with his legs, and maybe we'll see what happens this week. Kyle Shanahan sounded a little promising today about the ability for Brock Purdy to play on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. And I think that Niner fans should not hold your breath on a win this weekend. I would tell you most likely, I mean, it's tough. But how many teams have they played coming off a bye this year? God, Chiefs, Cowboys, was it the Seahawks last week? And then they're going to have the Bills again. That's brutal. That's a brutal schedule. And I would probably, right now, it's early, any given Sunday, but I would say right now you could probably pencil in a loss to go 5-7. But then, even then, I don't think the season is over. Jacob, hold on. 5-7, you look at the rest of the division, it's not crazy. However, they would have to damn near run the table. But let's take a look real quick. Okay, so Niners schedule after the Bills. They play Chicago. They could win that game. Then a short week against the Rams on Thursday night. They let one slip away against them earlier in the season. Then they go to Miami. Then home against the Lions. Yeah, this is tougher than I thought, actually. And then the last game of the season, they play the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, that's tough. It's doable, but I'm not going to say the season's done until I see it. But they have to have better play. So, I mean, yesterday, back-to-back 12 men on the field defensively. What the hell was that? That's brutal. And the 4th and 2 play where they cleared out the backfield and they threw to McCaffrey. I hear everyone's frustration. I am with you. I don't understand why Jordan Mason's not getting more carries. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, they were down for most of this game, but Christian McCaffrey with 11 carries for 31 yards. And Jordan Mason, who was healthy, it may have not been as healthy in previous weeks, 3 carries for 8 yards. And his longest carry was 16 yards. I thought that you could have used him more in the game. I thought that maybe on that 4th and 2, you could do a little more creativity by splitting out McCaffrey and having Jordan Mason in the backfield and giving to him on 4th and 2. Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. I think he's a great play caller. And there's been many a times where he's schemed it up where Debo's in the backfield and McCaffrey's in the backfield, and you don't know who's the wide receiver, you don't know who's the running back. I love the razzle-dazzle play that was earlier in the game where it was kind of an end-around, flea flicker type of thing where Debo got a little screen pass. But that's all Debo did. Debo in the last 2 weeks, 5 catches for 43 yards. As Brent Jones said today on the morning show, you got to lock in, my friend. And I think that's fair after he called out Jake Moody a couple weeks ago. And I don't know what Debo's future is with the football team. I know that they were trying to trade him this offseason, and most likely if Brandon Ayuk was healthy, they probably were going to move off of him. But now out of necessity, because Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL, they may need to bring him back. But right now, you're not getting the same Debo Samuel. So things look bleak. I get it. They're 5-6, most likely going to be 5-7. But let's just see what happens after that. Let's see if they get healthy. This team gets, they play better closer to December. They're playoff tested a little bit. Maybe they can turn things around. And I would say there's no chance if a team was running away in the division. But right now, I was surprised the Arizona Cardinals lost the Seahawks yesterday and got beat down the way they did, 16-6. The LA Rams would be a better football team if Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were healthier earlier in the season. I believe that, but they got bludgeoned last night themselves with Saquon Barkley running all over them. So no one's running away with the division. I would just tell Niner fans, simmer down now. There's still time. So let's relax. And also, by the way, everyone's saying fire Kyle Shanahan. You guys are out of your minds. Stop this nonsense. Stop it. All right? He's a good coach. It's just, it's not a great season. But who else do you want? Huh? You want Ben Johnson, who's never coached an NFL game? You want 70-year-old Bill Belichick? It's not going to get better. Kyle's the guy. All right, I'm being told I need to wrap up. Now I know what it's like on the other side. All right, Jacob, calm down. All right, coming up next, if you want to call in, by all means, call in, call me a Nepo baby, whatever you want to do. But at first, I want to talk to my man, Tommy Call. He's coming up next. This is Sports Phone, KMBR. You're listening to 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
This is Sports Phone KNBR. Dial the digits or send us a text at 415-808-KNBR. We're streaming on YouTube all damn day at KNBR 1045.
Allen in the shotgun. They motion Deebo Samuel inside of Ricky Pearsall, right 2 by 2. Allen looks right, throws middle. Caught by George Kittle. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Kittle over the middle on the St. Francis native alumni, Evan Williams, and a really good job by George.
Who was that guy? Yeah. Anyway. My man Tommy Call is going to be joining me in a little bit here as we keep it going here on Sports Phone KNBR. But let's take a call real quick. Let's go out to the 209 with my man AJ Cruz. What's up, AJ Cruz?
What's up, Derek? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for keeping me company tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, quick question for you, Derek. Is this math class? Because the math ain't mathing. How the heck are you going to try and tell me that the 49ers have a chance to get into the playoffs this year, okay? It's not going to happen. Let's pull up the schedule. We're playing the Bills next week, okay? There's no mathematical equation. There's no quadratic equation, and there's no geometrical, whatever the heck, is going to let me know. That's going to convince me one way or the other that we're going to win next week, okay? That's a loss.
Well, I already said that one, AJ Cruz. You could definitely put a loss next week.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I've lowered my expectations, so I'm okay with it, okay? The Bears, That's easy. The Bears suck. The Rams, we may be up 10-6, and then we're going to give up a run on the special teams in the last 2 minutes, okay? The Dolphins are Cantuna.
Man, you're a fortune teller.
Yes, the Lions are going to have the number 1 seed wrapped up, so that's a game they can afford to lose. However, I think they're going to want to rub our faces in it after last year, so count that as a loss. And the Cardinals, if they're still hanging around, they're going to put everything forward, and they're going to take us out. So you know what? I see realistically 2.5 wins on this schedule, okay? So, Derek, please, we're not going to do it this year. That's my own personal belief, and if you're still trying to say that mathematically or by some other virtues of the unknown in the universe that the Niners still have a chance, well, Derek, that's just your opinion.
I knew you were going to do that, and thank you. Shout out, Steven. All right, hold on, AJ Cruz. Right. Hold on.
Yes, sir. All right.
I'm not saying that they're going to go far in the playoffs or be a Super Bowl team again, but I still think that there's a possibility that they could make a little late run. Now, I know the way that they looked lately, then nothing would say that. But mathematically, they're not eliminated yet, so I can't say the season's over until I actually see it. But I understand why you think that it's done.
Yeah, we're leaking oil. We're not as well put together as we were last year. Everybody, they've taken our best shots. I think Shanahan hasn't really pulled any new tricks out of his magic bag. Debo's checked out. We don't have our best route runner. Everybody's hurt one week to the other to the next. So last year was, I believe, our best opportunity to do it, given the circumstances, the contracts we had, and everybody's health. This year, unfortunately, I think this is a market correction, and everything that we escaped last year is coming back to bite us this year. So unfortunately, I think we're just about done.
All right, fair enough. AJ Cruz, thanks for always calling in, man. Thanks for the support.
All right, Derek, take care.
Later, man. All right, joining me now on the UMA guest line is my man from back in the day when he had a radio show starting out. I would join him every Friday, and I thought I'd return the favor 6 years later. He is a part of Warriors Wire and Niners Wire. You can catch him on Believe in 49ers on the Believe Network with my man Evan Giddings. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thomas Call III, Tommy Call. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, Derek? Appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh, of course.
It feels good to be talking sports with you again.
Oh yeah,
all is right in the world.
It's been quite some time, and we don't need to just talk sports tonight. We can always talk about our love for Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. We share a friendship on that. But Tommy, let's get into the Niner game. 38-10. Would you say it's the worst regular season loss in the Kyle Shanahan era?
It's hard to judge. I mean, in terms of score-wise, it was the third worst loss since Shanahan's been on the sideline. But I think it's really like an exclamation point on where this season has kind of turned because, Derek, it's been underwhelming. At the end of the day, this team was in the Super Bowl last year, yes. It is a different team, but the goal was still the same. The goal was to get to the Super Bowl. Now you're under 500, haven't really beaten a good team, haven't really shown you're a good team at any point, and then you get smashed by a rival in their building in a game that felt like it was 100-0 from the minute the ball was kicked off. And on top of that, you have your stars underperforming. So right now, yeah, it's probably easy to point to that one and go, that's about as ugly as it gets for Kyle Shanahan.
So what do you think is the biggest catalyst that has led to this subpar season?
It's hard because you can blame injuries, but there's injuries across the league. It's part of football. It's part of sports. We've seen it happen before. So whenever you don't have your starting quarterback out there, of course, it makes it even more difficult. I think there was a little bit, as cliche as it is to sound, there was a little bit of that Super Bowl hangover. This is a team that's made deep Super Bowl runs together multiple times now, and it hasn't paid off for anything. They haven't won the big one yet. So there's probably was a sense that they could cruise a little bit, and once they punched their ticket to the playoffs, you could turn that switch on. I don't blame them for that. I think 49er fans out there probably felt a little bit of the same, but when you start losing to inferior teams and it becomes a theme, I think that's where the worry builds. And honestly, Derek, right now, I mean, this last loss and even against the Seattle Seahawks, it's hard to not look at Christian McCaffrey, and he felt like a magic bullet for the 49ers. He felt like him coming back at some point would really kind of flip that switch. He would be that sense of consistency the offense has missed. And it just has not been that way. It's been the opposite almost. It's almost, you could even say in a weird kind of twisted way, it's done some damage because Jordan Mason, who's been one of your most consistent pieces, hasn't been as involved since he's been back. Obviously, you want to lean on the reigning offensive player of the year, but also it would be nice to see some creativity and some Jordan Mason out there. So there's this bevy of things I think you can point towards, but it's weird. It's hard to explain because this team has so much talent and the expectations were so large for the fact that they're sitting here in a situation where you kind of need to win every game or win close to every game to have a chance at the playoffs. Seems, out of the million ways this season could have gone, the biggest mystery of them all.
Yeah, I am baffled why Jordan Mason at one point, who was, I think he was second in the league in rushing, and he's just not getting the carries since McCaffrey's been back. What'd you make of the 4th and 2 call, where it was an empty backfield and McCaffrey was split out? I didn't understand that. I thought that maybe you could have, Kyle Shanahan's a great offensive play caller, and I can't stand when people are saying, oh, he needs to be fired, doesn't know what he's doing. I think he's a offensive mastermind in this league, and as soon as you would fire him, another team would pick him up. I think it's insane for fans to think that way, and I hear all the talk of, I'd rather have Jim Harbaugh right now or this guy or that guy. I think he's great, but I do question yesterday whether it's a 4th and 2, and I've seen Kyle scheme it up where you could have Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. You don't know who is the running back or you don't know who's the wide receiver, and I thought that maybe there's a way to do that with McCaffrey and Jordan Mason. And I thought that play in particular, they could have done that. What would you make of the decision yesterday for the 4th and 2 call?
Yeah, it was a weird one, and I think it very much blended into the theme of yesterday's loss, where you kind of, I completely agree with you. By the way, I think the fact that Kyle Shanahan's, anyone questioning his job at this point is rather silly for all the reasons you had just said, but if you want to put some criticism on him, 49er fans and us here in the Bay Area have gotten kind of used to the creativity, have gotten used to the innovation, and him being kind of the smartest guy on the field time and time again when it comes to offensive play calling. And it felt like yesterday lacked a little bit of that. And again, you're missing your starting quarterback, so how creative could you have gotten? Well, hopefully with a guy like Kyle Shanahan on the sideline that gets talked about as one of the best offensive minds in the game, kind of makes up for that a little bit. And I think why that 4th and 2 was so critical is because right there is where you probably look to him to go, drop your best play. What's been working in practice with Jordan Mason on the field and Christian McCaffrey? We've wanted to see it since Christian McCaffrey's been back. And I don't think that's going to be some savior to the season, but it would have been nice to see at least, and kind of spoken to that innovation and creativity. And we didn't get to see a ton of that yesterday. Nothing really worked offensively. And when you're getting called for penalty after penalty and just looked clunky all around, I get wanting to kind of have a safer game plan, especially with the backup quarterback back there. But it would have been nice to see something a little bit different. And even this season, at times, there's felt like there's been a little bit of lack of innovation from time to time. But I still have faith in Kyle Shanahan. I think if the 49ers were to turn this around at any point this year, it kind of starts and stops with him figuring it out, not a different guy, even next year in the future. It starts with Kyle Shanahan figuring this thing out. And I think he's earned 49er fans, enough to trust that he can.
Tommy Cullen, nice enough to join us from Warriors Wire and Niners Wire here on the UMA guest line. This question is not an indictment on Brock Purdy. I don't think that they would have won the game if he did play yesterday. But I have a debate with a lot of people here at KNBR about, I think Brock Purdy's a great quarterback. But I do think that there are better ones in this league that have better skill sets. And a lot of people give me crap for this. I do think Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. I know people are going to hate me on that one. But yesterday did not show. I thought Jordan Love had a subpar game. He looked not comfortable in throwing the football at all at times. I thought that he just wanted to run with Josh Jacobs for most of the game, and that was the game plan. But what do you think about the two quarterbacks when they are healthy, Tommy? Who would you take, Jordan Love or Brock Purdy?
I think if you're the San Francisco 49ers, I think it's easy to lean on Brock Purdy in this situation because he's done. I think he's answered a lot of questions and done a lot of things that give success to what the 49ers have, right? With a, players like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. The list goes on and on. I would probably want Brock Purdy because he has shown at times he can be a little wily and be the gunslinger you need, and we've seen him scramble a lot more this year and off-scripted throws. He's really kind of made money in that. But he's also very efficient and been safe. Where Jordan Love, I think the knack on him, and rightfully so, he's gotten really, really lenient with some of these interceptions, right?
Yes.
But his team in positions to lose games. Where I think Brock Purdy is kind of the opposite. Well, he'll put you in a position to win those kind of similar, tighter games. If you're drafting a league and restarting tomorrow, you could probably convince me that Jordan Love could be the guy because he has a lot of these archetypes and traits where he's big and strong and fast, and he puts the ball on the string and throws it all over the yard. But at the same time, he does have some flaws. And I don't think right now, I mean, I would probably lean towards Purdy if you're the San Francisco 49ers. But if I'm the GM and I have the first overall pick and it's down between those two guys, you could convince me into Jordan Love, but it would take a debate.
No, I mean, I think that's fair. I think that a lot of people would say that Jordan Love has the measurables and the things that you look at in the combine, but Purdy is perfect at running, Kyle Shanahan's scheme. And I'm not saying he's a system quarterback. I just think that, there's a lot to be desired in some aspects, but I think for the most part, I mean, he's great. And he's wowed me this year with his scrambling ability. He's just a little rough at times and, because of the injuries and because of his own injury last week. So I totally get the conversation. But, yeah, I was actually very disappointed in the way Jordan Love looked pretty much for most of this season, actually. He's just a turnover machine. And then, yesterday I thought that he really didn't rip the ball, but the game plan didn't call for it. All right, I got you for a little bit more time, Tommy. I want to switch it up a little bit because you and I share a fondness for Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. But before I get to that, you're also a hip-hop head. What do you think about Kendrick's new album? Have you listened to it yet?
I haven't dove into it pretty deep, and I know it's funny. I've been joking back with a couple of friends over the last couple of days about this because, I think I'm not afraid to say that I grew up, on the Drake side of this thing. I grew up a Drake fan. So I know that's going to get you some boos, and especially so, almost just as a bit of a troll, I've tried to be like, oh, I'm going to lean on the Drake team on this one. I know that's kind of a controversy, but no, I haven't dug into the Kendrick album yet. I know it's probably hard for a lot of Bay Area people because the biggest song off it is kind of a dedication to the Dodger Blues.
Yeah, so, Dodger Blue.
And I know that probably is not too popular here either.
Probably not. But I don't know. I mean, I've listened to a few tracks, and I got to say, I haven't dug into it deeply, but I am digging. I mean, I guess it was popular on the music video for They Not Like Us, but there's the song Squabble Up. I just like the part where he goes I'm looking for the broccoli. I don't know. I think it's just a pretty good song. All right, lastly here, before I get you out of here, Tommy Call.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you see the finale of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
What did you think of the whole season and the finale?
Underwhelmed.
Yep.
I mean, almost it's comparable to the 49ers season. a little bit. I mean, it felt like time 2-3 years ago. I mean, when we were still coworkers and talked about this, it felt like it was time for them to call it quits. It felt a little stale. It felt a little lazy. It felt a little, I don't know, like they're trying too hard a bit, but also lazy, if that makes sense, leaning on some of these jokes, but at the end of the day, kind of pulling. But at the end of the day, anytime, Larry David's on the television, I'm going to be tuned in, and I'm probably going to have a smile on my face from time to time. And also that leads conversations with you. Brian Bonifatemi, another former KBR guy, loves talking about Curb and Seinfeld with. So that also brings, a smile to my face. So, yeah, it's a bummer. But I know, Derek, I don't know how close to your time, but I came to this spot with you with a trivia Seinfeld question for you, back in the day.
By all means, man, lay it on me.
Okay, so football, we're talking about football.
Yeah.
Do you remember the episode where Jerry has the Super Bowl ticket?
Oh, do I ever? He's supposed to go with Tim Watley.
Why doesn't Kramer want to go?
He only likes Canadian football.
Bingo.
Yep.
Good job.
You try to stump me. But please, Tommy, please.
It was a little bit of a softball because I didn't want to have to embarrass you on there, but I have stumped someone with that before.
Oh, by all means, sir, try to embarrass me. You will fail. Fail every time. No, I'm with you on the Curb Your Enthusiasm ending and the whole season pretty much. I thought that it was lazy, but I love Larry, and he wanted to end the show the way, he did with Seinfeld originally, so kudos to him. But, yeah, it left a lot to be desired. Kind of like the 49ers. Good analogy there, Tommy. Tommy, we're up against it. Dude, love you, man. Thank you for joining me. And it's been a blast. And you could catch Tommy on Warriors Wire, Niners Wire, and his podcast on the Believe Network, Believe in 49ers. Tommy Call, you are the man, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. It was an honor.
Oh, please. All right, that's Tommy Call. And coming up next, well, we're coming up on the end of the Warrior game here. And, this is not the game I anticipated. Brooklyn is currently leading the Golden State Warriors. So I'm sure JD will come on tonight, win or lose, and say they're gutless. Gutless effort from the Warriors tonight. But we'll get to that a little later. I want to go around the NFL a little bit next. So let's go through the week that was for Week 12 in the NFL. You're listening to KNBR, or Sports Phone KNBR, on 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.
The nighttime is the right time for Sports Phone KNBR. Let's f***ing go on the Sports Leader. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
Damn. That's a hell of a lead-in. The voiceover guy. Things get a little dirty at night. I like it. All right, I'm going to call a little audible here. I was going to go around the NFL, but since we're running low on time in the Warrior game and I don't want to keep JD waiting, I want to do a little something called Stop It. I want to talk about the things that are kind of pissing me off in the world of sports, or just in general, really. So, and we got a little Disturbed in the background. I guess this is Disturbed, Limp Bizkit, and Korn. Yeah, what a trio there. All right. I want to start in college football. Fans rushing the field early. I have no issue with fans rushing the field. I think it's fun. I like court storming if it's done in the right way and no one gets hurt. And I don't mind if, like a couple of weeks ago when Vanderbilt beat Alabama and they took the post down and took it down to the Central City and everything. I think that's fun. But you can't run on the field when the game's not over. And I know there was some controversy with 1 second left in the ASU game against BYU, but stop it. Kids, this is where I'm going to sound like an old man, get your ass off the field. There's still time in this game, all right? And it also happened later that night with Oklahoma and Alabama. And I went to UT, so screw Oklahoma fans. But don't rush on the field before the game's over. It's rude. It's rude to all the people that are working, the security guards and everything. Stop it. Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Jacob. That's perfect. All right, another thing that irked me. You know what really grinds my gears? This guy at the end of the Cowboys-Commanders game. So if you watched the Cowboys-Commander game yesterday, it was fun. 24 points scored in the fourth quarter by the Cowboys to win that game, 34-26. And, I thought the game was over until Jaden Daniels throws a pass up the field, and then Terry McLaurin does a little maze run, and he gets to the end zone. You think, tie game. We're going to OT. No. Seibert, I forget his first name. Seibert, the kicker, misses the field goal. And they have to get an onside kick. It's pretty much over at that point. And then this Cowboy special teamer, I don't want to screw his name up, but I'll do my best here. Woo-Ye Thomas, he picks up the onside kick and scores. If you know me, I'm a big go-down guy when it calls for it. And Jacob hates me for this one. Look, it called it for this game, okay? The game was over. Fall down on the ball, the game's over. This guy decides to score a touchdown and gives more time for the Commanders to win this game. So then if you get the ball back, score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion, you tie the game. If this guy would have just fell down, game's over. I didn't understand that one. Jacob, why do you hate when guys go down?
Well, just that statement alone.
Well, I know, that pause.
Stop it.
Okay, I totally get what you're saying. I firmly agree with that. But there was another play this year where I think it was Isaac Guerrero.
Yes.
He had a touchdown coming, and he totally went down, and I was just like, dude, get that rookie that touchdown.
Yeah, okay.
I felt that in that time.
He prematurely took a knee. And even I at that moment was like, at first I was like, oh, good, smart player. But then a couple plays later, Kyle Juszczyk scores the touchdown, and it's like, okay, and that makes no sense. But then a couple weeks later, maybe the next game, they play the Cowboys, and then he does take a knee before he scores. So I'd say that Isaac Guerrero, smart kid. I like his style.
Yes, there is a time and place. And Listen, I don't know who this Wu-Ye Martin, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Wu-Ye Thomas.
Okay, Wu-Ye Thomas. Dude, first of all, Ric Flair is probably his favorite athlete of all time.
He may be young enough where he doesn't know who he is.
Maybe that too. But this guy is not going to have very many chances to score an NFL touchdown.
You're a selfish player. You're selfish.
Okay, that's fair. But it was a pretty sweet play. It was kind of crazy.
I know. Okay, but you have to understand. then the Commanders get the ball back.
I know. And winning should be the only thing you care about.
Yes.
But in the moment, a lot of these athletes, the adrenaline's pumping.
I know.
You know, you lose your stuff. You lose your stuff a little bit.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Kobe Bryant. Now, I'm not going to say stop it to Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace.
Stop it!
But the Seahawk player named Kobe Bryant, he picked off Kyler Murray yesterday and scored a touchdown. Good for him. But your name's Kobe Bryant? I mean, I just think some guys shouldn't have the same name. Kobe's such a great name. His parents called him Kobe. He could have gone a different way on that one. I don't know. I mean, that's not a really hard one. I just think like Kobe Bryant. And it's a good honor to the kid, but you can come up with a different name than that. Jason Kelce. So if anybody saw a couple weeks ago, Jason Kelce was walking around Penn State, and this jackass fan said something horrible about his brother, and it turned into a whole thing where he broke his phone, and then Jason Kelce had to apologize on TV. So since then, Jason Kelce is going to be very mindful about what he does with fans. So Jason Kelce was doing an appearance, I believe, on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and to announce that he's going to have his own talk show, I think coming up during the NFL playoffs on ESPN or ABC. After the appearance, Jason Kelce leaves, and then TMZ catches this fan giving him a little crap that he's not going to sign an autograph. So here's part one of the encounter with this fan.
We're here at, we're not following you. We get every guest that comes here. Morgan Freeman did it with a busted hand. That's 100 times bigger than your sorry ass. You got a podcast and you think you're a hot shot? You're nothing. You don't love nothing but money. You don't know these streets. Your love is fake. No, we get everybody here. You're a hot shot. The guy that tells you off at Penn State. My name's Casey O'Keefe and I represent the streets of Los Angeles, you punk. I'll take you out anytime. And I'll be running the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Watch for me, you you and you love.
Well, that guy was very mad that he wasn't going to get an autograph. And at that moment, I think Jason Kelce should be like, screw you, I'm leaving. I don't have time for this crap. Jason Kelce is that nice of a guy and felt so bad about what happened a couple weeks ago that he decided to go back to talk to the fan. And look how this guy changes instantly. Part two, Jacob.
I apologize, because I do love you.
Get up here.
I do.
Say sorry. Just say sorry.
I'm not a punk. Hey, Casey, I love you. I have love for you.
I have love for you, okay? And I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything about it. I promise you, okay?
Yes. This is our spot. We love everybody that comes through here. We greet them with courtesy and honesty and love.
All right.
God bless you and keep working hard on everything.
This is the epitome of society today, my friends. When you don't want something, then you film yourself just yelling at somebody until you get it. And I feel sorry for this guy. I don't know his situation. It seems like he really wants an autograph. But you can't scream and complain when you don't get your way, and then Jason Kelce feels so compelled to then come back and give the guy an autograph. That guy did not deserve an autograph. Screw that guy.
Stop it!
Exactly. All right, that's it for Stop It. Well, the Warriors lost. Wow, they led by 18 and lose to the Brooklyn Nets 128 to 120. Oof. Back-to-back losses. They lose to the Spurs on Saturday night, and they followed up with a loss to the Brooklyn Nets. A home loss to the Brooklyn Nets. And I couldn't even tell you who's on this Nets team right now. So, real quick, Jacob, should I keep it here till we go to JD, or should I take a break real quick? One more time? Sorry, say it again. Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll have JD break down this awful loss tonight by the Golden State Warriors. You're listening to Sports Forum KMBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Sports Phone KNBR keeps rolling. Live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpot Studios. Casino Matrix. Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wrapping up on Sports Phone KNBR. Warriors lose tonight to the Brooklyn Nets, 128-120. John Dickinson will react to this gutless effort tonight by the Golden State Warriors. Man, they allowed 41 points in the fourth quarter. Oof. I couldn't even tell you who's on this Brooklyn Net team right now. Let's go through this. Jalen Wilson. Sorry, don't know who that is. Zaire Williams. Cameron Johnson. Yeah, I know who he is. Dennis Schroeder. 31 points. Wow. And Cam Thomas, 23 points. And no Ben Simmons. And as for the Warriors tonight, let's see how they shot. Yeah. Let's see here. Steph Curry with 28 points. Not a good night from Buddy Hield, only 9 points. Yeah. Nah, not a good loss for the Golden State Warriors. I would say for the Warriors this season, it's been they care again in the regular season. And these last two losses don't appear that they've kind of reverted back to the Warriors of old where they kind of just, it's kind of like a regular season game for them again, and they're not as tapped in. All right, John Dickinson has Dubs OT for you. He's going to react to the Warriors' loss. Thanks to everybody for helping me out tonight. Hopefully I get better. Jacob Violante and Kyle Haar. Coming up right now is John Dickinson with Dubs OT. You're listening to KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
Dub Nation. After the final buzzer. This is where you come for instant post-game reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is Dubs OT.
Can't wait.
With John Dickinson.
Hey, JD, what you up to, sugar? Long time no talk to.
On KNBR 104.5 and 680. Streaming live at knbr.com and on the KNBR app.
There's no reason to shoot. So this game flipped. 26